everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another video here about Dragalia Lost. This isn't going to be a guide video. I wanted to do something fun, or maybe not so fun depending on how you look at it. But I've been doing so many guides, so many similar things like that. I wanted to spice it up a little bit and give you guys something just interesting to listen to from my point of view. So this is going to be Mango7Roll's wish list, I guess you could say, in terms of changes for this game. A lot of these you might disagree with. I'm sorry for that. It's all opinionated. A lot of these I might have forgotten too. There might be super obvious things that I just completely forgot. But overall, this is my quick list of things I just want to have in this game to make it better. And again, no particular order, just having fun with this and just getting this out there. So the first thing on my list right now, and this is just what came to mind, and 1 to 10 is what I did. First thing that came to mind were party mechanics, and this might have come to mind because I've been spamming HMS recently and it's super frustrating and annoying to get a group going. And honestly, the only reason it's this easy is because I'm a streamer. I can just keep the code on the screen and people can join me. So what I want from party mechanics is I want a retry button really badly. I really want to be able to fail and then hit retry and go back in with the same group. I also really want to make a group with my friends list, or however else you want to do it. I want to compose a group, and on this window you see right here in the background, have all my friends gathering around the fire, literally just like this, with the main person on their front team. I want that really, really badly. I would also love to be able to emote to each other while we're doing this. Perhaps join somewhere in a tavern, hint to something later in this list. I would just love to make it easier, especially private parties, just because that's what this game is kind of based upon. And also I would love a fix to just general party play for outside of streaming. Like a lot of people think I don't experience the game outside of my little bubble because I'm streaming all the time, but I sit in bed at night trying to get things done, and it's really frustrating. So I can definitely see where the average player is having trouble, especially for stuff like the story, where there's just not any real way to get other people to do it with you, especially when you hit chapter 6. It's really difficult. To tie into this, I would also like another random join mechanic, I guess. Like, I would like a quick join co-op in the bottom right there where you see join co-op. I would like to hit that button and join a random group. And the way this would work is it would join the group that's been searching for people the longest that you're available for. So kind of think of an MMO queue or something like that. And you would get bonuses depending on what you did and how much you help people. Just a way to fill up those parties where people are hosting and there's nobody joining. Right now, I can sit there for 5 minutes straight and hit retry joining on Avenue of Fortune, and I just don't get a group. So that's super frustrating too. So maybe a way to balance that out or convert our wings into stamina. I'm not sure how to handle that, but I would love a way to get that done. Alternatively, just a general stamina and gathering fix might fix that problem in itself. There's obviously a problem still, and even though we got all of those things in the mail, it's still not fixed. They know there's a problem. That was a short-term solution. I'm not sure what they're going to do in the future, but I hope they do something, and I hope it's quick-ish, because I really think this method of partying needs to get fixed. That was a long one. I didn't want to spend that much time on each thing, but we kind of knocked 2 things out there on my list: stamina, gather wings, and party mechanics. So the next thing up, I would like a better Halidome. I'm not really happy with the castle grounds. I really, really, really do enjoy it, and it's probably one of my favorite parts of the game, but there's so many missed opportunities here that are kind of present in a lot of other gacha games that I feel like it could be expanded on. So one thing's for sure, I love this place. I love the idea of the Halidome. I love all the buildings going. I love seeing my dragon in the background. It's overall awesome, but I would like more player/character interaction here. I would like to see more of my characters talking, more of them walking around. I would also like to see cosmetic buildings, so stuff like taverns, stuff like inns, stuff like shops. Maybe have a shop that resets every hour or 2 like other games, or 6 hours like Azure Lane. Stuff like that, just to make this whole area much better. I'd also like to be able to see like Ramona over here bashing on some anvil stuff. Just overall a better way to handle this area. So I would also love to see this as a true JRPG style area. I'd like to be able to click on this guy, for example, and take control of him and keep running around and just having fun exploring my area, because the gameplay is there, or the ability to do that is there, and I'm sure they can code it in no problem. And by no problem, I mean it would take a lot of work, but I think it would be worth it. I would also like, in terms of party play, this is what I was talking about, I would love to have a tavern to kind of join other people here. And maybe when you want to join a party with your friends, you click on your tavern, and you go into your tavern and you invite people to your group, and instead of going back to your home screen after a battle, you go back to the tavern and you can emote with each other and that sort of thing. So that would be really fantastic, and I think they need to put a lot more work into this area, because as great as it is now, it's still definitely lacking. Okay, the next big one on my list, and I think this is probably the biggest from a gameplay perspective, I would like a fix to mana circles. Mana circles right now, specifically 3-star and 4-star units, are kind of lacking compared to 5 stars. I think this game has the potential to really make every character great, and there's no real reason to not do it. So because of the way they have their stat building and everything, it gives them a lot of freedom in their characters, and I feel like they can definitely make all the 5 stars equal to the 4 stars, equal to the 3 stars, for the most part, without making everybody unhappy. So without making the whales unhappy that the 3 stars are as good as the 5 stars, without making the new players unhappy that their 3 stars are so much worse than the 5 stars, I think they have a ton of opportunity here. So one of my proposed fixes for this is, let's take a 4-star, for example. Let's take Orion here. Actually, no, let's go to a 3-star. 3-star is probably better. Let's take Xenia here. Let's take a look at her mana circle. And right now, Xenia is pretty fantastic. She looks amazing. I love pretty much everything about her. But when she is 5-star, she is not going to be as good as a 5-star elemental wand. And part of the reason is she only has 75% resistant to stun, and that just is not good enough for a lot of things. So what I think they could do to this, so what I think they can do to this to fix this thing is add a left and a right. So I know, I'm 100% confident they're going to expand on the mana circle eventually, because mana is not a problem for most players at endgame right now, and they want it to be a problem. So I definitely expect expansions on this area soon. So what I would love is if the 3-star units, when they get to the final stage here, when they're unlocked to 5-star, they also have a route to the right or the left or something like that. So instead of going up, they go this way instead. And when they go left as a 3-star unit, you can upgrade your 75% resistance up to 100%. You can also get a little bit of stats over there to kind of balance your stats up with a 5-star unit. And when they go right there, that fixes the rest of their stats, and overall, it makes it equal-ish to a 5-star unit. So you would have something like on the left side, stats and your resistance to 100. On the right side, you would have co-abilities, for example, up to the same as a 5-star. So in the end, this would be the same as a 5-star unit. You would be pretty equivalent to what a 3-star to 5-star would be, and the power level would be about similar, but the investment would be so much more, and that is super okay. I'm okay if the investment is 5 times more than a 5-star, for example, and that's the freedom you get from getting the 5-star instead of the 3. And this way we can devote our time to the characters we love, and it just overall makes the experience better. And the same is true with 4 stars. The 4-star person, for example, would not have the left route to upgrade their resistance, but it would have the right route to upgrade their co-ability. And so many things can be done in here to kind of maximize the characters and make them kind of similar in terms of power level. I really think that's something I would love to see. Next up here is I would love to see more ways to spend money. Right now, I'm not really interested in spending money on this game as a player who doesn't like to pay for power. I don't really like paying for power. I love spending money on games like this, but I like it to be for stuff like RNG, and I like it to be for stuff like skins and cosmetics. I might be on the minority here, but remember, this is Mango's wish list, not your guys's, so keep that in mind. But I don't like buying the monthly packs right now because I feel like I'm paying for power and I feel like I'm forced into it. That's not a good feeling for me. and I really hope they stray away from that in the future. So what I would like to see is, for example, for the Halloween event, I would have loved to see a $99 pack. That sounds ridiculous, but that's what it works in other games, and I'm okay with that, with a ton of diamantium and a cosmetic building of a pumpkin that shines in the dark. Just something stupid that doesn't do anything. No stats at all on the pumpkin. All it does is sit in your halidome and look pretty. I would love that. That's a perfect way for me to support the game without inflating the power level, without making people too strong, without making people super overboard, and it will still get them a crap ton of money. There's games that just only survive off of skins and cosmetics. It's possible and probably even more profitable than power level at times, and it also keeps your game in a healthier place. So that is a huge wish list for me, and I hope they take that into account for the future, especially just in general having special packs, because I want to spend money. I really do, but I am not buying straight diamantium. It's just not happening. The value is just too bad for me. Next up is I would just like to see overall better support for the game in terms of controls. For those of you who don't know, you can play in landscape. I don't know if it's viable or allowed right now, but the game is fully coded for landscape. You can play 100% landscape just like you would when you turn your phone sideways. You can click all ways around. So for example, if I was in my halidome here on landscape, let it load here. If I was in my halidome, I could see all the way over here, this whole screen, every last little bit in one area. And I could click from back here all the way over here, and it would be responsive and it would know it. So the coding is there, which makes me lead to my next point, in that Switch support is probably definitely coming, and that's what the Nintendo partnership is about. I definitely see that in the future, but it also makes the game much more enjoyable. For example, right now I'm farming HMS, farming in quotes because I suck at it still, and there's times where HMS is off screen and shooting fireballs, or not fireballs, wind balls at me, and I can't see which way he's facing, so I get hit. Alternatively, I could roll forward and get into range of him and then start attacking, but that misses 2 to 3 seconds of DPS. That is really kind of frustrating and not necessary, so I would love that. And also, speaking of Switch support, I would also really like controller support. Right now, I could never play without a controller. I just can't do it. Controllers are just fantastic. I have a guide for that. Check it out. You should play with controllers. But it's not perfect yet. There's little things I can't do, like I can't move slightly forward. It's just not a thing I can do on controller right now, because if I try to inch forward just a little bit, sometimes it attacks and sometimes it force strikes, so it just does not work. Which means there's times where I have to roll to try to get in a specific spot, and it just doesn't do anything. Like, honestly, there's times in HMS where I'm trying to spread out, where I have to roll and then use an ability mid-roll to stop myself where I want. So not exactly ideal, but pretty close to perfect as it is, and having native controller support would just be insane. Next up, I would love, I don't even know how long this is, I'm so sorry guys, I would love better endgame options. Right now, there are not too many, and this is coming. Like, a lot of these I know are coming already, but they're just something I want now because I'm greedy. So I would love, obviously I would like better Avenue of Fortunes, I would like more Avenues of Power, I would love more of everything, but primarily what I want is a way to do these with a group, and a reason to do these with a group. So I would love to see, for example, obviously a master level, like a 10k master Avenue of Fortune with better stuff, but I would also like to see a 14k Raid of Fortune, where you fight a dragon filled with gold or something like that on a team of 4 people. It takes longer, it's just like an HMS fight, for example, but you get a ton of rupees for it. So this would be just a fantastic way to make the endgame farming more enjoyable. And for the people who want to solo, they can solo, and for the people who want to party up in the raid, they can get an extra 20% rupees or something like that for their efforts in fighting that dragon boss that's guarding the treasure. And the same can be said for every single one of these. I would just love to see higher events like that. Speaking of highest stuff, I would also like to see a way to translate the highest level of items down into the lower, or to make the highest level more usable, because right now basically everybody is flooded with the highest level stuff and is missing the lowest level stuff. So I would love to see that as well. Ooh, next up is endgame weapon customization. I would like to change a lot of these weapons. Because right now, there's really no reason to make a wind wand, and there's really no reason to make a fire wand, for example. Their abilities are just atrocious compared to the other ones, and I would love a way to either choose my skill or choose a different weapon or something. I'm not sure. I would also like to see more customization in terms of looks. I would like to change this weapon to look like something else if that's possible, kind of like a glamour thing. And that's also something I wish for, but we'll get to that in another video, I guess, because we're running out of time. But that would be amazing, because a lot of people, like Neparu, don't like to use weapons because they don't look right. And that makes sense to me. And I think a lot of people are in that situation. So I like certain weapon designs way better than others, and I would just love that. Basically, I want to be able to build whatever character I want and not be penalized for their element. Because right now, I'm definitely penalized because Xenia is fire. If Xenia was... I think it's light, dark, or water, at least 2 or 3 of those, she would be insane because her ability would be so much better. So that's kind of frustrating to me, and I hope that's fixed in the future, and I hope we can branch off into different paths. Next up is one people might get mad at me for, but I really, really, really want random drops in this game. As a Summoner's War player, as a Fate Grand Order player, as so many other gacha players, one of the things that keeps me going in these games are random drops. I should never, ever, ever farm a stage and not want to know what's dropped at the end. Right now, I don't care about what drops in the Onslaught. I know a ton of stuff drops, I couldn't tell you what half of it is, and that's not a good place to be. I want there to be something that matters off of everything. So a good example of this is farming the EX raid or the expert raid right now, and having a 1% chance for an extra worm print to drop. That would be fantastic to me, or having like a 1% chance to have an extra Sylvia drop. Just something like that would be super, super, super great. And it also ties into Endgame in terms of randomness and items, and that really is what fuels Endgames for gacha games, at least the ones that have real gameplay. So I would like to see another slot for equipment here. Where's the best way to show this? Yeah, just another slot for equipment. So if we click onto here, I would like to see like a ring slot or something like that, or an amulet slot. Something that has random stats that we can farm that drop at endgame locations, and maybe the item itself doesn't drop, but crafting materials, rare crafting materials drop to craft it. And this is something where you get a little bit of power for playing a lot. So for example, if you have a ring drop, it can be 200 might or 200 strength on it, or 175 strength, and you can get a range from 150 to 200 on it. So that keeps the endless amounts of farming and endless amounts of fun for very marginal power level, and that's the type of thing people like me need to keep the game interesting. Basically, if you've never played an MMO or another gacha game that has something like this, the adrenaline of seeing drops, the adrenaline of every single time you do a stage, having a chance to have something awesome just makes me super excited, and I hope they add it to the future. And finally, the last thing on my list, I've probably been talking, I don't even know where the timer is for how long I've been talking is, but I want to see guilds in this game. I need guilds, I need them now, give them to me please. And guilds, I would love to see so many different things. I want to see a halidome just for our guilds. I want to be able to see my teammates running around. I want to be able to roam my castle. I want guild buffs. I want guild parties. I want guild taverns. I want everything revolving around guilds. Just give it to me right now. I need it so bad, please. I know it's coming. There's no way it doesn't with the way this game is set up. Just give it to me now. Alternatively too, not alternatively, but additionally, don't kill me for this. A lot of people are going to kill me for this. And please, please, please just hold your horses. Let me talk before I go through this. I would love to see PvP in this game. I hate PvP. Getting it out there. I super hate PvP so much. But I feel like if they balance PvP like they do in GBF, where it's PvE PvP, where it's a competitive grinding, basically, not competitive against each other. I would love that, since this is a game about grinding and farming. And you don't need to make the rewards too great, just like a random ranking system that gives something that doesn't really matter. That's all I really want. I don't really want straight up PvP, because that kind of does not bode well for me and a lot of other people that play this game. I don't like it, but I can definitely see it coming in the future. Honestly, with controller support and everything like that, this game would be amazing for PvP. I hate to admit it, I really do, but it just really, really would. And I know I've just got like 20 downvotes because of bringing this up, but I've got to bring it up. I also know this is ridiculous, but adding PvP to a game like this really increases the chances of esports potential. And I know esports in a gacha game is bonkersly ridiculous to some people, but it's very successful in terms of Summoner's War, and Summoner's War has like the worst gameplay for esports ever. Like it's all RNG. So the fact that Summoner's War is incredibly successful with that, and oftentimes because of that, for example, their last live stream had like 100,000 viewers or something, leads me to believe the sacrifice I would have to make for PvP might be worth it from a player-based standpoint, but I still don't think it would be. But I have to mention it because it's just there. Anyways, I've been talking for so long. I think this is one of my longest videos I've ever done. This is my wish list. I don't know if any of these are going to happen. I'm sure most of them are, and I might need to rethink some of these too, but I just wanted to have some fun talking with you guys and get this off my chest. So thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye!